a song today, baby, with that orange. You gonna lead us in chant? 1, 2, 3, just climbed over rocky top, looking for a tail. I don't know the rest of it, man.
I know the chorus, man. The chorus is what gets me. Is,
rocky top, you'll always be home sweet home to be.
Yeah.
Good old Rocky Top, woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee, yeah. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Now, I never thought that as a Bulldogs fan, I may have been excommunicated from Bulldogs Nation, from the University of Georgia. But you know what? I am so down with getting kicked out of the Bulldogs Nation to be this guy's friend. This guy, certified performance coach. This guy working as a janitor. This guy who has found ways to now live in his dream, to move from a janitor and to work in sports as a coach. Now just came back from Super Bowl weekend. Mr. Jonathan Pack, who's here to talk about living all in so you can play all out. I can't wait to hear what that live all in, play all out stands for, Jonathan. But it's good to have you on the show, brother.
And it's finally, I'm relishing the moment. It's great to be a part of the Golden Mike and just be a part of this community. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, you are so welcome. Now, for those of you who have not met me, I am the #1 Patriots fan in the world. No, I am not. I am Marc Cordon, founder of the Make Money Coaching Program, chief disruptive officer of the Joy Revolution, and more importantly, I'm a positive psychology coach, which asks this from everyone, including myself, on a daily basis. Number 1, how happy are you today? How happy are you today? And then number 2, it asks, how much are you living in your full purpose? How happy are you today? And how much are you living in your full purpose? So Jonathan Pack,
Yes.
How happy are you today? And how much are you living in your full purpose?
Man, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at a 10. I mean, I'm living the dream right now. Being able to be on this show, being able to, just last week I was talking to a guy named Dozie Mimbuno, who's been in international basketball professionally for 20 plus years. I've been able to, interview Stanley Cup champions to Super Bowl champions to you just name it. I mean, who would have thought I would be, living my dream right now, truly fulfilling my purpose. I feel like my purpose is helping not only myself, but helping athletes find their purpose, find their identity outside of sports.
Well, you know what? You asked the question, who would have thought? This guy thought the second I saw you, I knew we were going to be doing this, son. And I'm relishing in the moment with you, brother. I am just completely relishing in the moment with you. Now, for those of you watching live or on the replay, if you are living life in happiness and you are living full out with your purpose, happiness and purpose, you're getting it on a regular basis. Make that Tennessee heart with me, Rocky Top. Beat your heart. Press that heart button. Let us know you're living your life. Let us know that you're alive. Hit that heart. Let us know, because so many days now, it's cool to live in the status quo. It's cool to watch a great game and then to get back to everyday life and play small and not live all out. Let us know that you're living all out by hitting that heart. Woo! Now, here's the other thing. A lot of people think that positive psychology is about 24/7 shits and giggles. The Skittles are raining from the sky. It's always happy around here, baby. It's Taco Tuesday every day. It is taco, but it's Taco Tuesday every day. No, that's not what happiness is all about. That's not what positive psychology and joy is all about. It's all about the ups and the downs and the all arounds of life, baby. It's about being able to take in those losses Like for Rams fans, taking in those losses, how's that going to make me better? It's about taking in those wins, like a Brady fan over there. It's like taking in those wins and savoring the moment rather than saying, oh, I want the next one. I want the next one. I want the next win. It's about savoring. And you know what? There's a lot of people, and probably in your coaching, you've met some of these people. They were in the prime of their life. And then next week they're saying, or you even watching the show might be saying, yo, something's off today. Something's off. I'm not happy anymore, Jonathan. I don't know why. Or they might say, yo, I played a game. I played in sports for over 30 years. But something's off. Something's off. I'm not feeling it. It's not giving me purpose anymore. And you know what? Guess what? Your heart beats just like Jonathan and mine. That's you being in the middle of you. That's you living in joy. It just doesn't feel like it yet because you haven't seen the end. You haven't seen the end. You haven't seen how this transpires. This is your story. And just like Jonathan, tell your story. So here's the other thing. If you're in the middle of this sort of crappy part of your life right now, and you're like, Mark, I can't tell you I'm happy. That's cool. Just give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you're living life because that's you doing your thing. That's you doing your thing. Now, here's the last thing. Then we're going to get on with Jonathan. The last thing is this. Whether you're up, whether you're down, whether you're all around in terms of your happiness and your purpose, you have strong happiness, you have low purpose, no matter where you're at. If you believe that today, Monday, is better than, it's going to be better than any other day before you, that's called hope, baby. That's called hope. And the number one thing about hope is that it is as powerful as IQ. It is as powerful as emotional quotient. And anyone who practices hope seems to have a much easier time with their goals, with being happy than a lot of other people. If you have hope, like our boy Jonathan Pack does, you got to have hope to go from janitor to hanging out with Super Bowl legends. You got to have hope. I want to see you hit the wow face. It's a button down there. One that Jonathan is going to show us. Jonathan, show us what that wow face looks like. Love it. Orange, all the time, wearing the creamsicle, giving us the wow face. So what is so what's your story, bro?
Wow, what's my story? I growing up around, I just had a passion for sports growing up, but I was the kid and tried out for basketball from 7th grade through 12th grade. Never made it. I finally hit 5 foot when I was April, my 9th grade year. Finally hit 100 pounds the same month. So I was always that small kid who always had big dreams. Mm. But always, I recognize, my future probably wasn't in the NBA. But at the same time, there was a draw to be around something to do with sports. Kind of led me when I was in college. I was the basketball manager. That was probably some of the best years of my life. And as I've kind of look back over the last 10 or 15 years, I feel like that's sort of when I got into coaching. I was able to build those relationships with the players, just one-on-one relationships, unique relationships with each one of them, whether we're talking about, their game, life, whatever it may be, just giving them that safe environment to just be who they are. And that's kind of transpired into what I'm wanting to do right now, because ever since I got out of college, I've been searching for that career path that said, man, this is what I was made to do. I feel like I found it. I found a way to serve others and do it in a sports setting. And so, what I'm, in the middle of right now, I feel like I'm on top of the world. I'm just getting started too. That's the crazy thing is, it's a process. I wish it would have happened overnight, but no athlete can, overnight become, an instant Hall of Famer. They've had to grind their whole life to get to be where they are at today, and I'm no different. I'm ready to. I put in the work, and I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor right now.
Yeah, what I love about this conversation is that whether you're a sports fan or whether you're not, there's something very relevant about most sports analogies. You put in the time, you knew what you were doing, and now you're seeing the fruits of your labors. It doesn't have to be in sports that's happening. It's happening in the coaching setting as well. Now, for you, let's go to Little Rocky Top. For those of you guys who don't know, Jonathan's nickname is Rocky Top. I wonder why with that creamsicle suit you got on today. But let's talk about Little Jonathan for a second.
Okay.
When you were Little Jonathan with and I know you had what, 3 brothers? 2 brothers?
2 brothers, yep.
2 older brothers. I know that you guys used to play. You used to pretend like you were Bill Lambier and all these folks, right? And like different sports stars. But also at the same time, when you thought about who you were going to be when you grew up, what were you thinking?
I mean, like you said, I was a huge Pistons fan, and so growing up, I was Isaiah Thomas. That was who I always wanted to be. 6'1", fell a little short at 5'8", but at the same time, there's just something about he was at the time considered one to be the best, I guess, smallest guard in league history. And so that kind of drew me. I could resonate with that because I was, of my size. But yeah, he didn't allow that to hold him back from leading the Pistons to back-to-back championships. And, to being a Hall of Famer, to being at the time considered one of the top 50 greatest NBA players of all time. And so just being able to see what he was able to do, what he was able to accomplish, going from the streets of Chicago to, world champion NBA basketball player. I mean, if he can do it, why can't I?
Exactly. Now, for you, did you want to be an actual sports star as a younger Jonathan?
I did, yeah. Honestly, I wanted to be an NBA basketball player, but as I got older, I started to see, hey, maybe that's not the path for me. And so I was like, I love stats. I love, what if I was either a sports agent or worked on the NBA side as far as signing and trading players? So that was a big draw to me as well. And then as I, continued to, I guess, get older, I was like, I found I've got a gift and a passion of just kind of building that rapport with people, allowing them to, I guess, be comfortable with who they are and being able to open up. And that's kind of off and on for the last 10 plus years. I was like, maybe coaching is the way I can do that. And that's kind of what's led me down the path that I'm at today, of trying to help athletes who many times, whether, their careers are cut short due to injury, whether it's they played a long, 10 to 15 year career, and they just get that end of the career and they put all their time and all their effort into sports, training for sports. That's all that they've known their whole life. And I want to be able to help them find that next passion to help them write that next chapter in their life, whatever that may be.
So in many ways, you have a niche for transition with a specific community. I mean, that's anyone's dream come true to get into that niche and be able to serve that specific community. Yeah. So when was it that you were like, ooh, instead of being a player, I want to work with players. And instead of working with players as the traditional coach, you saw yourself as a person that could really almost become the life coach for athletes.
Mm-hmm. Like I mentioned earlier, I think I started seeing little bits and pieces when I didn't recognize at the time, but as I look back in college, of having those relationships with the players, because honestly, sometimes the managers they're kind of looked down upon, but I never felt that way. I always felt like I was on the same level as the players. I mean, the coaches treated me the same. And so when my dad introduced me to, my dad's a licensed counselor, marriage and family counselor, and he went to a conference and found some videos at the time on life coaching and gave them to me. I watched a little bit of it and just, the timing wasn't right at the time in the sense that coaching just didn't like jump out to me, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do. But as time went on, I kept finding myself either being around coaches or seeing coaches, whether it's on Facebook ads or wherever it may be. A light bulb just kept going off. And I was like, okay, my wife was always like, financially, I don't, we can't do this right now. But I finally told her, like, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it. I mean, there's never the right time to do it. Sometimes you just have to, as I say, you got to go all in. And that's what I did, going on almost 2.5 years ago. And at this point, I'm like, I feel like I'm on the path I need to go. I have the vision of where I want to go. And it's just, taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, you recently have been on interviews with Stanley Cup champions. We have everything that's going on with the Super Bowl that you were a part of as well. I mean, not only did it happen, but it happened quite fast. Did you notice that?
I mean, it's amazing that I guess it was about a year and a half ago. I've got a buddy in Nashville who's a film producer, but he also drives for Uber at the same time. And he just happened to pick up Jake Plummer, former NFL quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals and Denver Broncos and multiple teams. And he's been associated with an organization called the Athletes for Care, who's actually set up for athletes by athletes to help them transition after their careers. And so I've been able to build a relationship with one of the founders and one of the board of directors, and just building that rapport with him, I came up with an idea. Hey, what if I write a blog series where I interview athletes, kind of focusing on how they transition after their playing days? Because honestly, even though each athlete's different, their story's different, they're all unique, but yet they all kind of go through some of the same struggles and some of the same experiences. We can all learn from each other. And so that was the pitch I made. I'm into my third interview at this point. It's just amazing. These guys are willing to and wanting to kind of pay it forward to this next generation. And I'm just kind of the middleman, gathering their facts, writing their stories. But then too, I'm learning from them just as much as, these other athletes are learning from them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say is the most? I'm going to scrap that. You know what, dude? I'm going to scrap the questions that I have here because I like your questions, but I want to get into it with you. I want to get into it. All right. If that's cool with you. What is it that you see coaches, or what is it that you see players going through that, technically speaking, we all are going through?
I think a lot of it has to do with purpose. I mean, so many of us.
They can't get rid of me.
And we're back.
They can't get rid of me. Be live. So I'm sorry to cut you off. But what are these things that you're seeing in players that actually all people can relate to?
Exactly. I think, including myself, I think the first thing is purpose. I think so many of us.
So even players deal with issues of purpose.
Absolutely, and then like I mentioned earlier, sports sometimes is all they've known their whole life, but yet a lot of the things they've learned with sports, whether it's teamwork, whether players come from different backgrounds, different cultures, and you mesh them all together. Everybody wants, of course, everybody wants to be the star of the team, but yet they've got to find their role. They got. For instance, one of the players last night in the Super Bowl, guy by the name of Matthew Slater, been in the NFL for 11 years, made 7 Pro Bowls. He's listed as a wide receiver. In 11 years, he has 1 catch. He's a special teams guru. Anytime a punt is kicked, he's the first one down there making the tackle. He's the first one down there on kickoffs making the tackle. He's found his niche. He's a team captain. This is a guy who no one knows about. But yeah, he carved out his niche. He's accepted his role. He's found what, how he can make his team better. And I think, that translates to wherever you're at in life, whatever team you're on, whether in business life, whether at church, whether in your family, we all have gifts. Play to your strengths. I mean, I think some of the mistakes we make is trying to be somebody we're not. I mean, thinking that in order to be successful, we've got to be number one. We've got to be in the spotlight. That's not always the case. I mean, just by being you're able to make more of a difference. You're able to be more at peace in your life because you found your purpose, and your purpose is being you. And the times you're able to be you, that's when you can go all in. Because if you're trying to be somebody you're not, there's always you're kind of holding back. And the reason for that is because that's not who you're meant to be.
Yeah. What about folks who either have been out of the game for a little bit, or they're coming back from like a broken arm or broken leg, right? There's a psychology to it. Like, you don't even when Manila Ice, when I busted my elbow open, the hardest part was actually getting back on and just skating again, because the whole time I was skating with my for the first month, I was skating protecting my arm. Would you say that's a normal thing with people coming back from injuries?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even the Super Bowl last night, I mean, no one knows for sure, but Todd Gurley was not Todd Gurley.
No, he wasn't.
I mean, I don't know if it was his knee. Is it mental? Something's going on there. When you're, with him, he blew his ACL several years ago when he was in college at Georgia.
Yeah.
Sometimes injuries, you've got to kind of get over that hurdle. For his, being able to cut, being able to, get back to full speed, being able to really trust your body to be able to do what it used to do. And sometimes, even when you're not able to do what you used to do, being able to say, all right, but I may not be able to do that, but I can do this. Being able to accept kind of where you're at. Maybe, your role may change. Being able to, all right, maybe I'm not going to be the same running back. Maybe I'm not able to make the same cuts. But what can I do well right now? Being able to still recognize what you do well and be all in that, instead of making excuses and, kind of playing that victim mindset of, I'm not the same guy, I'm just going to kind of feel sorry for myself.
What I love about this is you're talking all positive psychology, man. It's not the idea of deficit, like, oh, I've lost all this, but what can I do well? What can my role be now? Because it sounds like, to go back to your role piece, your role is always changing. Your role is always changing. So the first thing is identify what that role is and do it all out. Now in life, I see a lot of people doing that as well, right? I'm not the president of the company, so I'm not going to do shit. I'm going to do nothing close to all out, right? I ain't in a flashy position. They got me down here in the stock room. No, but you can play all out in the stock room. And the way that you play in the stock room is actually the way that you can play for life. In positive psych, they call that the ripple effect.
Yep.
The way that you play in one area is how you play in every other area, right? So I think it's amazing how you see stuff like this happening, on TV, and you're like, oh, whatever, it's happening on TV. It actually happens to us as well. It's just a different way of looking at it, I want to get to something else, right? A couple dropped passes last night. There were a couple dropped passes last night. So I want to get to that. I want to get to the idea of getting the mind of a wide receiver, and then let's blow it up, right? A wide receiver, in practice, how many catches do you think that they make out of 100?
Honestly, I would say high 90s. These are guys that, have those ball machines coming at them, a lot faster sometimes than, the quarterback's actually throwing. And if they can make those catches, they can make, the catches in the game. Because it's all about, that mental practice, whether you're doing the ball machine, whether you're even visualizing making that catch in the game. If you do it beforehand, when the time comes, you've already done it before. And so it comes natural to you. And so I think.
Yeah, so let's talk about this, right? So someone, who was it last night that dropped the ball, poor dude. Easy catch, right? It's a wide open catch, and this could be any game you think about. It's a wide open catch. The guy drops the ball. What's the first thing that you see, Jonathan?
I mean, a lot of times you look at body language. There's like slump those shoulders, because like that's a catch I make. Like we said, 9 times out of 10. Why do I have to drop it now in this big moment of the game? I mean, one of the catches. I mean, really, the Rams dropped, honestly, 2 touchdown catches. I mean, if Goff would have waited 1/2 second, he could have made a better throw. But still, I mean, that catch could have been made. I mean, the old adage is, if it hits your hands, you should catch it.
Yep.
And then, Stephon Gilmore made a great play at the end of the game there in the fourth quarter as well, to knock the ball out of Brandon Cooks' hand. But at the same time, you got to be able to hold on to that ball. No matter, you're going to have obstacles in life. You got to be able to recognize them and then, react.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're working with either a sports client or just a life client who has sort of dropped the ball,
mm-hmm.
right? They go and drop the ball, and then they go and have that like moment where they're just kind of, what is that moment? It's kind of like, woe is me, or is it like they're just a loss of esteem? Like, what is that?
It's human nature, to just, it's like, have that pity party. It's like,
the pity party.
You not only let yourself down, but I think you feel the weight of, I let my teammates down.
Yeah.
They were depending on me. These guys are, I mean, 7 points in that game last night made the world a difference. I mean, it changed that whole aspect of the game. I mean, they had to settle for a field goal when they could have had a touchdown. And so at the end of the game, they could have hit the game time field goal instead of having to, Goff having to force the interception there at the end of the game. And so
totally.
Those moments lead to further mistakes down the road if you don't hit the reset button in your mind and be able to, I mean, you got to be able to kind of flush that out and forget about it. I mean, the best players are able to do that, are able to just move from one play to the next like it never even happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What I'm not sure about is, how do we get ourselves out of that mentality? Because once we drop a pass, once we come back from injury, how do we get ourselves back up so that we're our optimal selves?
I think, the best way is just to visualize in the future that you want. Yes, you might have just dropped the pass, but how about that next pass that's coming, on the next play? Being able to see yourself actually making the catch, being able to so like, and really almost, what did I do wrong on that previous play? Kind of don't look at it as a problem. Don't look at it as the negative. What can I learn from that? How can I, not allow that to happen again? What can I do better this next time? And I think by continuing to set yourself up for success, the negative won't happen again. And then, kind of brings to mind, I was talking to, I mentioned Dozier Mimbono. I mean, this is a guy who, at the end of his career, he broke his 5th, I guess, medial collateral ligament in his foot. Normally on that injury, you're back within 3 to 6 weeks. He decided not to have surgery. He was in a cast for 5 months and then had rehab for another 6 months. And so, I mean, he could have just melted in. It's like, that's the end of my career. But he worked himself back into playing shape. But in the meantime, he turned a negative that during that 11 months. he was setting up himself as, in order to transition to become a sports agent after his playing days. Yeah. So sometimes, it's all about perspective. It's all about how you look at the situation. If you focus on the negative is it's kind of like you attract negative, going forward. But yet, if you have the perspective of what can I learn from this, you can turn that negative actually into a blessing, and you'll be able to take yourself down a totally different path potentially, to, I guess, breathe success.
Jonathan, people are feeling you right now. Jonathan, people are feeling you. We got Jorge in Puerto Rico giving you love, man. We got Evie with the applause, nothing but applause. We got Brandon coming through, giving you the fire. I believe 100% what you're dropping right now. Sean Huber in Tampa. Julius Peppers is doing that right now. Awesome. Are you feeling that? What Julius Peppers has been doing?
I didn't realize that. That's another contact I can reach out to kind of, iron sharpens iron.
Okay, right on. Okay, so I got this question for you, bro. Like, I just dropped $100 on a New Jersey, right? When it comes to sports, I don't skimp. We'll pay $12 for a Dodger dog. I'll buy my son all the gear and stuff like that. We pay a lot, capitalism-wise, we pay a lot of money for sports. But what is it about sports that draws us in so much, man?
It's the atmosphere. Even though, I think we even, as a Tennessee fan, I feel like I'm a part of the team. They don't know me from Adam. But yet I feel like I'm a part of what's going on. Basketball-wise, we're the number one team in the country right now. Mm-hmm. I feel like I play a role in that. I'm very superstitious. If I'm not standing or sitting in a certain place or wearing a certain set of clothes, I feel like, I'm setting my team up for a loss. So I think we put ourselves into the game, even as fans. I think it's just, there's just something exciting to be a part of, a winning community.
Oh, absolutely. How do you share sports with your daughters?
I love taking. I take both my girls to the games. I get them there with popcorn and Fanta. At the same time, I just want to be able to expose them to that. They're 4 and 8. It's football and basketball. What are they as passionate about it as I am? No, but being able to share that with them, to make memories, I think it's important. But I think too, both of them are into gymnastics. My oldest daughter's doing soccer, volleyball. I think what it gets back to is letting them choose what they enjoy, and then being their biggest cheerleader.
Love it. It does have a family thing, right? Where the family cheers for somebody or one team and all that good stuff. And then we got another aspect of sports. Hell no, UNC, baby. We got Sean talking smack up in here. Now, that's a huge part. I'm so happy that Sean just did this. The evolution of trash talk, this is such a big part of the game now. And 10 seconds that he's in here, Sean's talking smack up in here. But it's a part of the game, right? Talk to me, Jonathan, about this evolution of talking smack.
I think everybody does it in their own way. I feel like every time I try to talk smack, it has a negative effect on my team's results, and so I let the play speak for themselves. For instance, my fantasy football team, I could very easily talk smack, but every time I try to talk smack, my team loses, and so I let the final score kind of do the trash talking for me. Some people like to talk loud. Like to be more in your face. Others are a little bit more reserved in that. And I think it's what they feel natural doing. I think that's the important part. Some people are loud and boisterous and like being up in your face. I mean, going to football games and stuff, being able to walk down the street and having Georgia fans bark in my face. I'm like, I don't know you. Why are you doing that? Did I say anything to you?
Because we're Georgia, baby. I mean, this was just something that just happened to me. I was I was taking a plane from Los Angeles to Atlanta. Obviously, Super Bowl was happening there this weekend, and it was the perfect blend of crazy because we were flying in a rather cheap airplane. You have to pay for everything in there, right? So there's no internet, and what people choose to pay for is alcohol. Everyone wearing Rams gear or everyone wearing Brady Nation, right? Like 3 hours into the plane, like some woman is like randomly singing Ave Maria. we got Brady fans picking on a 13-year-old. Like it was pure pandemonium, right? But for some reason at the end of it, we get together and like right before someone wants to swing, it's like, nah, we're all good, man. We're all good. Good luck. There's just something about having that pride that is really interesting. Alabama fan. Sean Huber wants to know about Alabama fan. What do you know about Alabama fan?
Yeah. They travel well. I'll give you that much. I mean, they definitely, go all in their fandom as well. And, I've had good experiences with each fan base. I mean, I think it's all in how you take it. I mean, I think it's good. I mean, it's healthy for people to kind of get behind their team, and whether it's tailgating, whether it's cheering loud at the game, whether it's UT players doing the Gator chomp after beating Florida on their court. It's not just the fans. I mean, the players getting trash talk, the other team's fans. I think, like you said, it's all in good fun. I mean, you can take it to extreme, but I think when harnessed, it's part of the game.
Yeah, it is part of the game. I mean, when it comes to mindset, I mean, that's one of the things you got to tune out. You got to tune out like hostile crowds. You got to tune out the trash talk, right? If you're a quarterback and you just threw it, to the flats and it got picked on the left side, you're going to have to get over throwing it to the flats on the left side again because you're going to totally not be able to play to your strengths. Here's something else that I know that we've talked about in the past, but I don't know if we've talked about it this explicitly, but like momentum. The idea of momentum in games, this idea that like a certain team gets momentum and like just like random things, it's almost like the universe starts to cheer for the team. Like the ball goes the way of the team that's in momentum, right? How can we think about momentum from the sports analogy into our life analogy?
Wow. I mean, I think, when you look at it in the sports, it's amazing how, like you said, the ball happens to hit off somebody's shoulder pads and bounces up in the air right to the opposing team.
Yeah.
Just the right time, and I think too, not every time like for instance, the Rams on the first drive of the game last night intercepted Tom Brady on his very first throw, but didn't, use that momentum to carry on. And so I think there are definitely opportunities out there for momentum, and you don't always take advantage of it.
Yeah. What I love about the way that you throw that out there is that momentum can be started with opportunity, right? The idea of, okay, let's, we've been prepared. We know what Brady's probably going to do. He's probably going to script out a boom interception. But then sitting on that momentum isn't enough to get you to the next sort of marker in life. It's not enough to get you over the top in the next area. If you just kind of sit back and live in momentum, you lose it right away. So to still be pushing and have that growth mindset that you're talking about, amazing stuff. Yeah.
I mean, why else do you see a team who makes a turnover like that on the very next play does a play action, bomb down the field? I mean, they're trying to take advantage of that momentum. They're trying to score that touchdown right away. I mean, to me, I think it's funny because you would think the defense is expecting that.
Yeah.
And when we get, either they're going to be sitting back waiting for it, or, I mean, the defense could change the momentum right back too. And so I think it's, no matter what side of the ball you're on in sports or in life, you're in control of your actions. You're in control of your attitude, how you're showing up. Or, are you going to be all in the sense that, all right, hey, I just caught a break. I just got a call from somebody about an opportunity. Are you going to get nervous and it's like, I'll see what the other person's going to do, see if they're going to reach out to me again, or are you going to pick up that phone and call them right away? Because I mean, you're in charge of your life. You're in charge of your own success sometimes, and you got to, go after it.
So Rocky Top, in terms of the momentum in your life, how was it that you were able to start? And if let's just go there, man. Like, you and I had been, I'd been coaching with you for a while, and it was like, got to get this going, got to get this going, got to get this going. We look back sort of at that time, and now we look now, and I would think that you're a person in a momentum right now. What did you do that got you into a place of momentum?
Honestly, one of the things I learned at a conference back in December, get comfortable being uncomfortable. I feel like I was finally putting myself out there in situations, kind of get in my comfort zone, because sometimes being able to sit back and just kind of coast, those opportunities and those open doors aren't going to, open themselves. You got to be able to go after them. And I think what I've done over the last several months is take action. And do things that I may not have done in the past.
So for a person who is grooming this new company, what was it like to be uncomfortable? Like, what were you specifically doing?
I guess for me, it's actually, I'm reaching out to sports agents. I'm reaching out to, over the last couple weeks, I've been reaching out to players I'm watching on TV playing college football, winning Heisman trophies, who are getting ready for the NFL draft. I'm reaching out to them on Instagram. I mean, it's, so many times we put people on pedestals. It's like, who am I to, want to talk to them, or why would they want to talk to me? What do I have to offer them? But at the same time, I'm living in my purpose, being true to who I am. I do have something to offer them. I do have something that they can benefit from. And by realizing my own dream of kind of owning up to it, and it's like being proud of who I am, I think it's kind of pushed me forward. And I'm attracting that. I think people see I'm being genuine, being authentic by putting myself out there. I'm getting a positive response back, because I'm not being somebody I'm not.
Hell yeah, you are. And Sean remembers meeting you there. Sean remembers meeting you there.
I remember.
Yeah. So I'm hearing a couple things that I just wanted to restate. Like, number one, it sounded like there was a mindset shift that needed to happen, right? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Fuck it. I'm getting this book out, and I'm like going through every agent, right? And then almost like the idea that hearing no is just like, it's just part of the game. You hear no, you hear no, you hear no. I did hear earlier on you talking about how hungry you got, and that came from that purpose that you were talking about. You have always loved, since you were a kid with your brothers. You wanted to be fucking Bill Lambier. No, you wanted to be Isaiah, right, with your tight shorts. Like, you always had sports in you. It ingrained into your soul. So it makes sense that the things that are right in front of you. Sports agents, sports stars, retired folks who are making the transition from sports. Now, you recently had a pretty big name, McCarty. I mean, for those of you who don't know hockey, like, McCarty is a bad dude. Like, he's all over the place. He could score, no teeth, a bad dude that just won the Stanley Cup, and I think more than once, like twice or something like that. Right? Oh yeah.
4 times.
4 times. He won it 4 times. And Sean wants to throw out that MLB is going in the direction of mindset coaching, and they're hiring people, and most are not qualified. So keep that in mind. Sean, by the way, if you know of anyone who's hiring for pro wrestlers, that's what I want to do. I'm making my declaration. I want to be a life coach for pro wrestlers. So you're actually manifesting this. You, like you said, you now have McCarty in front of you. What was that like now to be kind of living out what you always hoped?
He's a normal guy just like me. That's the crazy thing about it. I was nervous heading into the phone call with him, but after we got on the phone, we talked for 45, 50 minutes. And we could have easily talked a lot longer than that. Just being able to hear somebody's story. I think that's been the cool part about me, is just being engaged with them, because everybody likes to talk about themselves. And so I think, but being able to recognize that, he may no longer be, the hockey star, which is pretty cool, because he considers himself an entertainer, because not only was he a 4-time Stanley Cup champion, he's a lead singer in a rock band. Currently, he's a comedian. He's written his own autobiography. And so, he considers himself an entertainer, and he's put his life out there. He's an open book in his autobiography. He didn't hide anything. Whether it's his failed marriages, bankruptcies, whatever it might have been. One athlete, not every athlete may go through that, but there are athletes out there that are struggling with that. And so being able to be open and honest about his struggles, will hopefully help somebody else avoid some of those same pitfalls and obstacles that he had to go through. And so I think I love the ability to allow people to tell their story.
Yeah.
Because like I mentioned earlier, no one is perfect. We can all learn from each other. Iron sharpens iron. How I show up in life may benefit somebody else.
Yeah.
I've had people tell me I inspire them. I'm like, what I do? I'm just a normal guy from Tennessee, but yet so many people, can benefit from who we are and what we do. And I think that's the important part. So many times we think of ourselves as, small or, not important, but other people in the world views us in a much larger spectrum than we sometimes even view ourselves.
We also got a new book called Becoming More Than Just an Athlete. Jonathan is just throwing out there.
Love it.
My friend, I remember the time when we would not be able to figure out how we could do this in 10 minutes, and you just went into a 60-minute flow with me, son.
We're done?
Yeah, my friend, it's done. It's over.
Wow,
you've officially said enough, Rocky Top. We've heard enough of you. We can't stand it anymore. But with that, I want to have you back, man. I want to have you back. I'm feeling your momentum. And the Sean's in here, Melanie's, who else is here? Christina, Ruben, Herman. We all have your back, man. And so we're all excited that you're coming out like this and making these declarations. Oh, look at this. You're not forgotten, my IPEC classmate. You rock, Jonathan.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, it looks like you've made quite an impression, and I can't wait to see that the increase of impression that's about to happen in this next year for yourself, brother. It has been an honor to be working with you, and I can't wait to have you on the show again. Yeah?
Yes, sir. I'll be back whenever you have me.
Absolutely. Now, I got I am all in coach.com. What's going to happen when we go there?
Basically, right now it's just a website that kind of tells my bio, kind of who I am and what I do. And I also kind of want to put a plug out there for anybody that knows of anybody prepare for the NFL draft. Me and 2 other coaches are actually putting together an 8-week online training surrounding with mindset. And so if anybody knows of any athletes out there that may be interested in joining that, have them reach out to me at my email, jonathan@IamAllinCoach.com. And we're also going to be rolling this out for the NBA draft and the Major League Baseball draft as well, as a way to just help athletes. So many times they focus on their bodies and their nutrition, but one of the keys is their mindset. And when things,
I absolutely love it. I love what you're.
Then what happens?
Yeah, I love what you're doing for so many people. That a lot of people are living up to this moment, and they'll either blow it because of things that blind spots in their mindset, or they won't be given the opportunity. Hopefully, I'd love to see, and this is a special request, I'd love to see something for the person that wasn't drafted. What now? How do you keep your head in the game if you still want to get it? Because some of the most impactful players were the ones that were undrafted, right? Or the Mr. Irrelevance.
Yeah, I mean, Julian Edelman, Super Bowl MVP, 7th round, he's a quarterback. He's a converted quarterback, potentially going to be a Hall of Famer as a wide receiver.
Dude's about to make some big bucks next year. Amazing.
These unknowns out there, everybody given the right mindset.
Yep.
Can set themselves up for success easily.
Amazing. So here we go. It's your golden mic moment, son. The golden mic is coming down from your ceiling over there in Tennessee, my friend. And it's coming to a rest in front of you, Rocky Top. The thing about this golden mic is that it translates into every language all across the world. So when I flip it on, Rocky Top, the whole world is listening to what it is that you have to tell it. Jonathan Rocky Top Palk. Your golden mic is live now.
Hey, you may be feeling lost, frustrated, and stuck in life, not knowing what to do next. Let me help you, write that next chapter in life. You still have so much to offer. I mean, you can translate the passions and the goals and the strengths that you have today into tomorrow. Let me help you do that. Everybody has the ability anybody can overcome anything. And I want to see you succeed as much as I am succeeding myself.
Rocky Top, let me see you hold that microphone out in front of me. Now I want you to smash that golden mic and destroy it, baby. Because you're good, baby. You're good. Number 1 Tennessee is romping through the land right now. Number 1 Tennessee is romping through the land. That's right. Hold that number 1 up. Jonathan Rocky Top Palk, Marc Cordon. It's been Golden Mike 116, a very special one. Rocky Top. Oh, man, there's no dragon that I won't slay for you, brother. Love you, man. Now here's the thing. For all of you watching live or the replay, I've got a question for everyone. The question is this. If you're feeling happy and you're living life in its fullest of purpose, what is your responsibility to change history for the better? I'm Marc Cordon. This is Rocky Top. Until next time, see ya.